Hi, this is Brother Ben. So let's open up our PowerPoint. Let's just take a little pause before moving on to today's lesson, the trivia, the adolescent, which is on page 8 of your book. That's where we're up to. Just have a breathe, mindfulness, a little bit calm, relax, refresh your brain by just breathing. Make sure you're getting enough oxygen in. Relax your shoulders and make sure you're sitting upright, and then you'll gain more oxygen in your body. Don't sort of fall forward. That's not so good. So let's start with the opening prayer. May the wisdom of the all-compassionate one so shine within our hearts and minds this day, that we may be enlightened in our acts, thoughts and deeds. So shall we learn to be true, good and happy, and attain the spiritual peace. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. The trivia, adolescent, isn't this adjective? The word adolescent came from the Latin adolescentem, which means growing near maturity or youthful. So adolescence is really a process to maturity. So the uplifting realizations, our next part there. Students, I would like to ask you all and individually, how can you enjoy the process of adolescence and persevere to full maturity? So I'm looking for a variety of answers, but I would like to emphasize the following. So if you'll put your answers on the messenger to me for that question we just asked. How can you enjoy the process of adolescence and persevere to full maturity? So put your answers in on the messenger to me there. There are a few other ways people can do it. For example, writing it on a paper and photographing that, but it's much easier if you just put it on a messenger. So you can pause the video at this point then while you do that. So I'm looking for a variety of answers, but I would like to emphasize the following. Adolescents should have positive self-worth. Be patient. Practice reflection and listen to the advice of positive role models. So now we're going to have an activity, and the groups are going to read the poem out loud. So please see the poem on page 9. We will divide the Desiderata poem into 4 sections and assign stanzas, those are blocks of words, for each of the 4 groups, the 4 sections. I'd like then to ask the groups to read their portion of the Desiderata. So you can have your group. So you've got to decide also how are you going to do that. So you can make an audio, you can make a group chat from the messenger, your own group chat, and you can each put a line in on the audio, reading it out loud. That's a simple way to do it. You can make a TikTok group chat. I'm sure you know how to do that. I'm sure I don't, but I'm going to learn how. That's one way to do it. You might have other ways that you can do it. Okay, so look at the task and figure out how you can do that with each of you being in different places, but you can each put a line in. One of you can read out one line, the next person can read out the next line, another person can read the next line. And then you need to put all those kind of together in one place. Now then, the uplifting realizations part. I'm reading down at the bottom of page 8. All of us have dignity and must always believe in our self-worth. This means that regardless of age, race, financial status, educational attainment, and religious affiliation, we are called to respect and value our fellow men. Let us look closely at the poem Desiderata by Max Ehrmann and find some inspiration. Desiderata, Max Ehrmann. So I'm going to read it out here, but I do want your group to read out loud, either somehow all together, I don't think you can do that, or like one person each line, something like that. Go placidly, that's peacefully, amidst the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. Vexations means they disturb the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. So that's the end of the reading out for group 1. Group 2, you can read out loud. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. Oops. We've had this bit. Just a minute. We need to start from a different place. Just a minute, it's on the next one. So group two, don't read that bit out loud. Read this bit out loud. Let me just quickly correct that now, because I remember I've done this. This is the second time through doing this. I'm just going to correct that because so there's a whole slide that's not needed. Hello, spinning wheel. There we go. Right. Just a minute. I'm just going to delete this slide. So, have you figured out your way that you are going to read your thing together yet? So I'm going to just delete this slide where my spinning wheel stops. Kaboosh. And 3, 2, 1. There it is. So now I'm going to paste in here. Read out loud. So sorry to disturb the flow of this beautiful poem with a boring technicality. Here we go. Right, we're ready to roll. Let's start again. Here we go. Zoom. Group 2, read out loud. 3, 2, 1. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Feign means pretend or fake. Yeah. End of reading out for group 2. Well done. So let's see you submit those audios somehow. So on the messenger is my suggestion that you create a group and submit it on that. It's pretty easy to create a group, isn't it? So, and it's easy to use messenger. Seems to be the most reliable thing. Group 3. Read out loud. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Those words. So, aridity means dryness, like where you've got, it should be grass, but it's all brown and dry. There's no water. Yeah. For in the face of all kind of dryness, and disenchantment is like disappointments. For in the face of all dryness and disappointment, love is as perennial as the grass. It means it grows back. Perennial means it grows back. So let me read that way. So cynical means doubt. So neither be doubting about love, for in the face of all dryness and disappointment, it will grow back, it will come back just like the grass. It will appear again, just like the grass, right? Phew. Take kindly the counsel of the years, the wisdom you learn over the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Well, you grow up and you move on. Your teddy bear, you gave it up. Your toys that you left behind. Nurture spirit, strength of spirit, to shield you in sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. Fatigue means tiredness. Okay, well done. So group 3, same thing. Find your way to sort of form a group or messenger and send it on audio is my suggestion. Unless you have a better idea, TikTok maybe. I don't know if there's another way you can think of where a group of you in different locations can create an audio by, I think, one line at a time. One line, one person, one line, one person, one line, one person. And you kind of try that. It's a challenge. Figure out how to work together. Group 4. Ready? You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations, that's your hopes, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Sham means false things, fake things, like big adverts with burgers on. It's not a real burger, it's just a big, ugly photo. Drudgery is like endlessly doing things that are boring. That's drudgery. And broken dreams. It is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. End of reading out loud for group 4. So then, students, what do you think is the message of the poem? So you put your answer in there. Next, how did you can always pause. You just hit the pause button when there's a moment like that. So then that gives you time to, you can take a screenshot of this and add text to it. That's one way you could do it. You can also do that on the Arete PDF. How did you feel after reading the poem? Pick a stanza, that's a block of words from the Desiderata, and share your feelings and thoughts about it. Moving on. So output. Dear students, I would like to ask some of you to share some of your favourite lines from the poem. Let me just... Now then. So do the sharing and then we'll move on, okay? You can share that in the PMs, in the group chat, a number of different ways to do that. But I want several students to do. Next, moving on. So you can pause this video at any point. Dear students, I would like to ask you all to answer the points to ponder on page 10. It's that blue square. Then I would like some volunteers to share your answers. So what did you think is the message of the poem? How did you feel after reading of the poem? Pick a stanza and share your feelings and thoughts about it. The stanza from the Desiderata is this. My thoughts and reflection are this. So do your work there by pausing and screenshotting and adding text and picking out a bit. Then tell us how you thought and felt about it. Right. So some outputs. Dear students, I would like to ask some volunteers to share your answers. That means messaging that in, either as a screenshot or as a copy paste onto just text. Okay, next. Engagement. Page 10, halfway down. The activity is a summative test. Identify the person or the concept that is being described by the following items. So we can have a list of 10 descriptions. Write your answer on the space before the number, and after, I would again like some volunteers to share your answers. 1. This refers to respect for a favorable opinion of oneself. Respect for or a favorable opinion of oneself. 2. This refers to the physiological maturation and genetic makeup of a person which influences or her developmental tasks. This refers to the physiological, that's the body, maturation, changing body as it grows up, and genetic makeup of a person. That's how you get your looks from your mum and dad and grandmas, which influences his or her developmental tasks. 3. This refers to the guiding principles in our life. Okay, this refers to the guiding principle in our life. And 4, this refers to a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection. So let's just reverse a little bit. So 1, this refers to respect for or a favorable opinion of oneself. Do you think you have a lot of what? Self something. 2, this refers to the physiological maturation, genetic makeup of a person which influences his or her development tasks. It's in the title of our lesson. Okay. Begins with A. 3, this refers to the guiding principles in our life. Hint, what is our class called? 4, this refers to a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection. So you might have one of these in the class or in the school. Yeah? Let's move on. 5. Yeah, you have to look back to, where did they mention him? This refers to the educator who asserted that adolescents must fulfill certain developmental tasks to mature into early adulthood. So you really want to be looking back through the words and the works, and you're looking for some names. So you're looking probably for a If it's an educator, it's probably a professor or a doctor. So you're looking for actually he's not a professor or a doctor. But you want to be looking in the text in page 6 and 7, and you're looking for a name, and there's 2 names in there and it's only one of them. So this refers to the educator who asserted that adolescents must fulfill certain, here it is, developmental tasks to mature into early adolescence. So if you look through the text, you should look for the word developmental tasks, and you'll see the name very close to that on either page 6 or page 7. So as a help for you. 6, this refers to what Havikhurst believed to be a way for adolescents to attain mature relations with peers. I just check something. Just want to check. Oh, so they're not looking for the name of the educator. This refers to the educator. I'm just checking number 5. This refers to the educator who asserted that adolescents must fulfill certain development tasks to mature into. Okay, this is a theory, I think. It's a bit difficult the way they've said it. And then 6, this refers to what Havikhurst, that's actually the name of the educator. This refers to what Havikhurst believed to be a way for adolescents to attain mature relations with peers. So we're going to be looking certainly for the word peers. No, it doesn't use the word peers. This refers to what Havikhurst believed to be a way for adolescents to attain mature relations with peers. So, okay, it's not making this very easy, I have to say. This is not an easy test, and I have the answers. Alright, well the answer to number 6, because I don't even see that it's in there yet, is experiment and learn. But it's not in the text as far as I can see. So I'm just going to give you that one, otherwise it's a bit impossible. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm looking through the text and I've actually got the answer and I can't actually see it in there. Okay, so number 6, just put experiment and learn. 7, this refers to the position which a person occupies in a particular setting. So in society, someone might be higher level, so lower level, and it begins with S. So this refers to the position which a person occupies in a particular setting. Okay? So next, 8. This refers to the set of norms, values, behaviors, and personality characteristics attached to a status. Actually, I'm just going to rewind something because that was a little bit confusing. On questions 5 and 6, question 5 is looking for the name of the educator, just to be clear about that. And actually number 6 gives the name, so it's a little bit not very well designed. Okay. And Number 6, as I said, I gave you experiment and learn, but it's not actually in the text. So 8, this refers to the set of norms, values, behaviors, and personality characteristics attached to a status. So the status has this thing. 9, this refers to a practical way of taking care of your changing body so that you can attain your full height and strength. And 10, this refers to the specific culture to which the individual belongs, which influences his developmental tasks. 10, this refers to the specific culture to which the individual belongs, which influences his developmental tasks. And that begins with S. I'm just trying to look where you're supposed to find these answers in here, because they're not jumping out. I don't think they use that term, which seems a bit unfair. So we're talking about the society that someone comes from. So what would be the study of that? And study usually means logos or logi. So there's a big hint for you about the answer to that one, because, as I say, it's not really in the text. I don't think we've actually learnt that. It's just general knowledge. I'm still looking and I don't see it in our text that we had there. But, oh yes it is. You'll find about that, the information about that one in page 5. Close to where it says fulfilling one's role in the society. Good, okay then. Let's move on. So, I'd like some volunteers to share your answers. So you know how to do that. We will have established that by now. Probably at the minute on Messenger, unless I've come up with a better idea, or one of you has suggested one too, to communicate across the internet, or unless we're using Zoom. But for now, I would like some volunteers to share your answers. That's your output. B, positive notes. We are all called to be bearers of hope and love to our fellow men. Think of 3 classmates who you think could use positive affirmation, that's friendly words, at the moment. Write them a small note and hand it over to them. So you can do that on Messenger. Positive notes. So some of the examples for positive notes are the following. Your kindness is so refreshing. I appreciate your considerate behavior. You are the kind who can do it. You're doing great. Okay, positive notes. Let us extend our positive notes to our home and share them to our family members. Have you ever expressed your gratitude to your hard-working parents and to your very understanding siblings? Have you ever said, thank you for the kindness and generosity of your guardians? That's your mum and dad, or people like that. Perhaps it's about time. Write positive notes for them too. You have plenty of time now to write your own positive notes and to share them with your classmates. Okay, I'd like volunteers to summarize the lesson, please. So if somebody can volunteer to do that, we'll hit pause on the video here, but then put in your summary of the lesson. C, showing our appreciation. So dear students, I'd like you to do the activity on page 12, showing our appreciation. Then I would like some volunteers to share your thoughts about appreciating other people. So continuing with showing our appreciation, teachers and school administrators, that's like the secretary and people in those offices there, guards as well, people like that, work so hard to provide us with quality education, while our community leaders ensure that we live in a safe and happy community. Think of 3 ways in which you can express your gratitude to teachers, school administrators, and community leaders. 3 ways in which you can do that. Here's the boxes where you can do that. You can express your appreciation to teachers, yay, school administrators, and community leaders. Okay, I'd like volunteers to share your thoughts about appreciating other people. And again, when there's a bit of an activity like that that takes time, we can pause the video while you do the work and then resume the video. So share your thoughts about appreciating other people. How do you do that? How do you actually do that for teachers? How do you do that for those school administrators, people like Sir Nico or other people in the offices there, secretaries and so on, and community leaders too. Okay, students, so we're on to page 12, D, Situational Analysis. So it's a case study. Okay, students, I'd like to ask you to do the case study on pages 12 to 13, called Situation 1 and Situation 2. And after, I'd like volunteers to share your thoughts about appreciating other people. Situation 1. One of your classmates always brags about his family's big house, new cars, branded clothes, and the latest gadgets. He is quite popular in class, since he always spends money for his friends. One day you notice that your classmate is quiet and sad. Continuing, you approach him and he confides to you that his father has been suddenly fired from his high-paying job. He is afraid that he will lose his friends and his popularity. How can you help your classmate discover that his self-worth is not tied to material possessions? It's very important, right? So possible solution 1, possible solution 2. You can hit the pause button here, the space bar, or however it works with you, and screenshot and add your text to those. His father has lost his high-paying job, and he's used to impressing everyone with everything he's got. And this is about his self-worth. Suddenly he's not going to have all of those toys and goodies and impressive things anymore. Their solution. Okay, so solution 1, solution 2, and then the best solution. Can you think of fun activities that you can do with your friends which do not need money? Very important, eh? I remember growing up as a teenager, this was a very big one. We used to love to go climbing trees, walk out to rivers, use things using nature, not buying stuff or going into the shops. Skateboarding, well, skateboarding needs money, but you know what I mean? Kind of physical thing, swimming. Now, situation 2, after which I would like some volunteers to share their answers. Situation 2, your friend is very grade conscious. Hence, she always strives to get the highest possible grade in a subject. As a result, she is a consistent, honest student. One day, your friend calls you up and shares her concern about the quarterly test. She is afraid that she might get a low score because she has failed to prepare for it. She confides to you that her mother got sick the week before, so she had to take care of her younger siblings and do the household chores. Thus, she had very little time to study at home. How can you help your friend understand that her grades do not define her as a person? Someone can have high qualifications and be a lousy person, can be very arrogant. Or someone can have no qualifications and be a wonderful person. So grades are only something. Doesn't mean when you do get grades you're bad or whatever. Not at all. It's not that. It's not what's being said. Now, situation 2, after which I would like some volunteers to share their answers about those things. Okay, you know how to do that now? I've come up with a way, so go ahead. Let's have plenty of you volunteering in. Volunteering is good. Volunteering is good. Volunteering is good. Go for it. Possible solution 1. Possible solution 2. The best solution. And if you received a low score in an important test because of a valid reason, how would you approach the situation? I mean, how would you approach the situation means how would you think about it? How would you talk to yourself about it? Situation 2, I'd like some volunteers to share their answers. So bring them on in. Let's have those answers coming on in. Next, situational analysis. I like to see a variety of answers, but I'd like to highlight the following, just as a summary, looking back on that exercise. Some of the important things. About case 1, the classmate with the big house, the new cars, that dad lost the job. That this point, our self-worth is innate, it's built into us. Yeah? Our self-worth is inside, it's inner, it's innate, it's built in, and not dependent on material wealth. So if someone has a car or doesn't have a car, they have a big house or don't have a big house, if they have a bicycle and a small house, it's not dependent on material wealth. Case 2, the busy friend afraid of low scores. We should strive to have a balanced life and must set our priorities straight. Okay, we get that balance right. So then, scaffolding, and moving on then. E, scaffolding for the performance task. We're on page 13. Promoting self-worth through pictures. Page 30. Right, so we've got an activity. Students, we will group into groups of 3 members, then make a photo collage composed of 5 to 10 pictures that will show our self-worth or about self-worth. Okay? Photo collage made of 5 to 10 pictures that will show your self-worth. So you can even use, Google Images and screenshot them and drop them onto a page within your laptop or screen or phone. There's different ways to do that. Go ahead. I'm sure you'll find ways to do that by now. Self-worth through pictures. So think of a 1-sentence message about adolescence and positive self-worth and put it in the middle of your collage. Got that? So you're going to put those words in the middle and then the pictures all around. And consider the following rubrics in accomplishing. I think we mean accomplishing this task. It should be an O in there. Accomplishing this task. Ta-da! We have the criteria, which is the collage has such and such. The collage for 3 points has a high quality. It's very appealing and skillfully done. The collage for 2 points has an acceptable quality. It's appealing and somewhat skillfully done. And the collage for 1 point has a low quality. It is not appealing and unskillfully done. Unity. For 1 point, the symbol and the message are unrelated. They don't go together at all. For 2 points, the selected pictures are consistent and support each other. For 3 points, though, selected pictures are highly cohesive. They go together very well and highlight each other. Purpose. The output, for 3 points, the output achieves the task's objectives successfully and convincingly. And for 2 points, the output achieves the task's objectives kind of acceptably. Yeah, it's all right. And for 1 point, no. The output does not achieve the task's objectives. Okay then, that takes us to the summary at the end of Lesson 1, Grade 7. Let's have a look. Follow through. Physical change becomes more pronounced when one reaches the age of adolescence. Adolescents develop the ability to remember more things and begin to practice critical and abstract thinking. 3. Adolescents usually have varied and interesting social groups. Next, human dignity means that regardless of age, race, financial status, educational attainment, and religious affiliation, we are called to respect and value our fellow men. Next, self-worth means that we value ourselves as a person. So Heraclitus was a Greek philosopher, and he said, the only thing that is constant is change. It's exactly what the Buddha said. He said that wherever you look, you will always see things changing. Good, so that takes us to the closing prayer, Grade 7. You can join your hands together. If you've got any questions on anything, you can message me up and I will respond. Hands together, closing prayer. Reverently do we pray to Thee, the Holy and Perfect One. We earnestly resolve to understand Thy teaching and to daily tread Thy path. So shall, like Thee, we may attain the peace of Nirvana. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. This is Brother Ben Signing off. I wish you well. Grade 7.